I think that doing hard things with other people is more fun than doing hard things by yourself, regardless of what place you finish or what kind of bike you're on or what your past experiences are with cycling. Like, you don't have to be a lifetime gravel rider to come and be celebrated.
Welcome to All Bodies on Bikes, the podcast, where all bodies are good bodies, all bikes are good bikes, and all rides are celebrated.
All Bodies on Bikes is a movement to create and foster a radically inclusive bike community. So join your hosts, I'm Ellen,
And I'm Marley,
as we explore the complexities of the biking world. Help us break down barriers and create the world that we want to see.
Come along for the ride.
Hey everyone, this is Ellen. I am solo this week for the first of a 3-part series about Mid-South Gravel Ride. If you are unfamiliar with Mid-South, it kicks off the gravel riding season every year. It's in March, it's in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and it is a wildly joyful experience. Because of all of this, for the last several years, All Bodies on Bikes has taken a team of non-traditional athletes to Mid-South Gravel. They focus more on joyful movement and fun than they do on completing the race as fast as you can. They meet and train together throughout the winter from their homes across the country, and then they finally come together for the weekend full of excitement and endless miles of red dirt and the DFL, or dead-effing-last party, where every rider gets the same hype as they cross the finish line down to the very last one. Today's episode is a conversation I had last year with Matt Fisher, who was one of the 2025 team members and is now a mentor for the 2026 team. He's also a founding member of the Dallas-Fort Worth All Bodies on Bikes chapter. Basically, you should consider this a bug in your ear to apply for the 2027 team. Next week, Marley has this awesome conversation with Coach Dave, who works with athletes to create training programs that they use throughout the winter. And then the next episode after that will be everything you need to know about what makes the DFL party special. By the way, I forgot to do a formal start, so you're gonna just kind of be dropped in mid-thought, but y'all have been here for a minute. I think you can handle it. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next week. I remember your wife said that your transformation into cycling was abrupt. It was like we were not talking about cycling, and then all of a sudden you were testing bikes for 2 hours in a parking lot outside a bike
Yes.
shop. So
Yeah.
what prompted you to get to that parking lot?
I have always loved the outdoors and honestly feel like it's very almost medicinal to be outside, like in the wilderness. And so I hunt a little bit and fish and just love like hiking and being out there and exploring new places. And we went to Bentonville a couple years in a row for a hunting event called the Black Bear Bonanza. And at one point in time, just for some context, you don't obviously don't have to put this in the episode, but for some context, black bear were almost extinct in Arkansas, and through conservation efforts, they're like there are so many of them now that they need to have a very limited, very regulated hunting season to protect the population.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so like they have this event where they celebrate that and talk about the population and share how to cook bear meat and everything, and it's really fun. And I have never hunted bears, but my favorite podcast was recording there. So we went. And I realized that like the first year we went, we did all the touristy things in Bentonville. And then the second year we went, I started hearing about like the cycling scene in Bentonville and how there were so many trails around town that you could go explore like if you had a bike. And I didn't have a bike. I just got the bug. I was like, I want to be able to go see these cool places and I want to get out in the wilderness and be around like wild animals and stuff.
So an entire hobby inspired by FOMO.
Yeah. That's funny. I hadn't thought of it that way. But I want to be able to go out there, and was not like a very fit person. And so I wasn't going to go running to get to
Same,
these
to
places.
be
So
fair.
I was like, okay, well, I'll go get a bike. And a bike is a way to be able to go explore and have more adventures. So went to a couple of bike shops in Bentonville and had trouble like talking with the people and finding a bike that would work for me and my size, and ended up at the Specialized store. And then I like accidentally ran into Marley, and she was like, hey, have you heard of All Buddies on Bikes? And I was like, no, I have not. And so I started following them, and that's where I saw all the stuff about Beth being DFL at Mid-South and all the community and party that Mid-South was, and like the dirt roads. And I was like, that is my people. That's what I want to do. And so within a few weeks of coming home, I had a new bike and started riding. And then almost exactly a year later was Mid-South when I would have done my 50-mile
Okay.
route.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back me up one step. You said this offhandedly. When you were going to the bike shops in Bentonville and you were looking for a bike that fit your body, did they know what to do? What was your experience like with that?
No, not really. That's why I went to a few different ones because I was like, I don't necessarily want a mountain bike, but I don't want like a road bike with skinny tires and skinny wheels. And I just didn't feel like that would be appropriate for me to feel stable on and not feel like I was going to break it. And a lot of the shops were like, oh, yeah, Specialized has this model, but we don't have it in stock. Or Trek has this model, but we don't have it in stock. And then went to the Specialized store thinking like, oh, if a couple shops have recommended this Specialized model, maybe this place will have it. And that Specialized store in Bentonville is just pretty much for rentals to like rent for the day and go ride trails. So
Okay.
they didn't have anything for sale there. And but that's where I met Marley, and she pointed me like to the All Bodies on Bikes website that had a lot of resources about what you need to look for in a bike, or tires or wheels or seats and that kind of thing. And it really opened the door in a way that like the people in the shops didn't or couldn't.
Yeah, just not understanding how to service your body.
Yeah, I had a little bit of discouraged feeling like, oh, maybe this isn't something that I can do. And then hearing about All Bodies and Bikes, I was like, oh, cool, maybe this is something I can do, you know? I went from there and have gotten really into it and ride all the time.
So you met Marley. Did Marley just tell you about the Mid South team or did you seek it out?
So this happened in early March of last year is when I met Marley. And there was not an All Bodies on Bikes DFW chapter. There wasn't any events happening around here. But like I found out that I like really was interested in this, and I had some friends that did gravel events and wanted to go do those. So like my wife and daughter and I, we went and volunteered at a aid station at Gravel Locos in May just to see what like bike races were about and help out. And we had so much fun because I wasn't ready to ride it yet, but I wanted to be around that environment. And I
Research, do
followed.
your due diligence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I had been planning in the back of my mind, yes, I want to do something at Mid South next year, but I didn't know logistically how to do it. And then I think Marley posted that they were accepting applications for the Mid South team. And I had already emailed Marley after I got home and said, I really like what All Bodies on Bikes is about. There's a lot of need for that here in DFW. So if you ever want to start a DFW chapter, please let me know. I want to be involved. And so I got the email about the team. And that was one of the things that I said in the application was like, what do you want to get out of this? And what do you want to bring back to your community? And I said, I'm hoping to start a DFW chapter, and being a part of this team and everything that comes along with it would be really good to bring more people into this sport, into this fun environment. And so for the application, I think there was like a written application, and you had to make a couple of videos like explaining who you are and why you wanted to be a part of the team. And then I got an email that I was picked for the team, which is really cool.
Yay! That is really
Yeah.
cool. I want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about what you said about how DFW needs an all bodies on bike. Like you said, there's a lot of need for this in DFW. What makes you say that?
Yeah. Like when I was shopping for my bike, when I got back, one of the big stores here, I don't know if they're a national chain, but they're here, is Bike Mart. And I asked them, like, hey, do you guys have any group rides? And they were like, oh, we don't have any group rides. We do sometimes, but they're super fast. So, okay. Well, I don't think I can go super fast yet, but okay. There's like a lot of the shops in the area put on rides, but generally they're road rides, fast paced, very serious road rider kind of types. And that's just not what I was looking for. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have like Critical Mass, which is a like a worldwide thing, which is very chill, very slow, sometimes very rowdy. And like I wanted something in the middle. Like there was either like Critical Mass or like fast road rides. And I wanted to like people that just wanted to explore and like go around and have fun and ride to a brewery and get a beer and then ride back and just have fun with it, not make it a serious thing all the time.
Sure.
And so that's that niche that I thought All Bodies on Bikes could help fill, because that's the feeling that I got from All Bodies on Bikes is we're going to do this joyful movement on bikes. That's what I wanted to help foster here, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You did take it back. So we have a Dallas Fort Worth chapter now. Okay, I'm going to take the conversation actually back to more of like your Mid South experience because part of
Okay.
what All Bodies does is bring, I think, is it 15 riders together to basically be on a
Hmm.
team and train together over because Mid South is March. Like it
Hmm.
was early March, which can be, that means you're training it over the winter. Basically.
Yeah.
So, like, what there's just a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you guys wound up doing together. Tell me about the team. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah. So we started having meetings once a month, and we were introduced to our coach, Dave, from Kaizen Endurance, who set up a training plan for us. And we had our regular meetings, we had Zwift group rides, had the training plan to follow. Dave was great to work with. I had a couple of one on one conversations with him, and he was very encouraging and full of great advice about training and like the mindset like of racing and just like not being discouraged.
Mm.
Like at one point I definitely got off of the training schedule when it was winter. And so
Yeah.
I in Texas I was able to ride outside for a lot longer than most people, but when it got really cold and I couldn't ride outside anymore, I definitely did not keep up with my training schedule cuz
It's
the trainer is just not nearly as fun as like riding through the woods. Mm,
not. It's hard.
no, yeah. And so we had a couple of really good conversations about that. Don't be discouraged. You've been working hard and you can do this. And then we had the mentor.
Did you feel like you needed to hear that at that point in time though?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I set a one on one with him and told him like where I was at and
Yeah.
was feeling very discouraged. And he was just full of encouragement. No, you can do this. You have the ability and it's not too late. Like you haven't thrown away everything you've worked for because you're not on the training schedule.
Right.
All the progress you're made has not gone out the window because you don't want to ride the trainer inside.
Yeah. Did you share that with your teammates as well, or was that mainly a conversation with you and Dave?
No, I shared it in one of the team meetings, just like I was feeling discouraged and felt like I was behind. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody reached out and said, "Hey, you should schedule time with Dave and talk through it with him." And
Okay.
that was really good.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were discouraged. It's winter. It's gray. Everything's terrible. But Dave says it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then throughout all the team meetings, we had different people on to build up the hype about Mid South. Like we had Bobby on to talk, give us a preview of the routes. We had Meg Fisher on to talk about her experience and like dealing with adversity and how to, like, how she deals with that in her story. And somebody on to talk about nutrition and fueling throughout a ride.
Tell me a little bit about that nutrition piece. I think a lot of people who are in bigger bodies are going to hear nutrition and be like, oh, so I have to lose weight. But that's not what the
Oh,
nutrition
no,
conversation was about.
no, not at all. It was like, you are asking a lot of your body when you do a long bike ride, and you need to give it the fuel necessary to be able to do that. You can't rely on what you got stored up to power through a long ride. Like you need to continue to eat. One of the things they said is, I think it might have actually been Meg Fisher that said this, but riding a long bike ride is like an eating competition. Like you have to eat more than you think to give yourself the fuel that it needs. And they talked about like calories and different types of fueling. We had discussions about like how often to eat, how much to eat, like carbs and sugars versus proteins. But it was definitely not about you got to eat healthy leading up to the race. So like you're in good shape. It was
Right.
when you're on the bike, here's what you need to do to, or here, actually, not here's what to do. Here's how to figure out what works for you and what doesn't upset your stomach and what your body
Sure.
needs while you're riding because it's different for everyone.
Yeah. Had you heard that instruction before?
I I had heard some of that, but not in the way that it was presented. It was much more in depth. Like I've heard people talking about like eating snacks while you're on the bike, and you go into a bike shop and they have all the gels and waffles and drink mixes and everything, and it's very overwhelming to see all of that. But it was good to have a professional talk through like how to figure out what works for you.
Okay, so we had Dave helping you guys out on the training. We had nutrition. We
Hmm.
had a lot of different stories just about what it's like to train through something like this the first time or anytime. How did it affect you? Were you also learning about yourself through all of this?
Definitely. For me, writing has been a really good thing physically. Like I can tell that I might not have lost much, if any, weight, but I can tell that I'm more fit and like my heart is working better and more efficiently, and I can do more physical things than I have before. I just feel better in general
Hmm.
physically. And then also mentally, emotionally, it's been really good for me. I've heard people talk about like that runner's high that you get if you do a big run. And my dad has always been one to say, if I'm ever feeling down, I just go to the gym and I feel better after. And I was like, sure, dad. Yeah. You're just trying to get me to work out. But like, it's totally a thing. Like, if I'm feeling down or stressed or anxious, like going on a bike ride is definitely a boost for me. And getting out and being able to go explore and see new things and listen to a podcast or not even have headphones in, but just listen to nature has been awesome. And like, you can ask my wife and she'll definitely tell you, like, I can tell when Matt hasn't been on a ride in a few days. Cause like, and some days she'll be like, man, I think you should go for a ride tonight. Like, I can tell you haven't been on a ride in a few days. You kind of seem like you're feeling down.
Yes, she joined you. She was at Mid South, so I got to meet her too. She was
Hmm.
so into it. She had t-shirts that she had, I
She
think,
did.
custom made that said like cycling wife or something like that. Like
Uh-huh.
she was just in it.
Yep.
But she shared how you've transformed in certain ways. Not that you're someone completely different, but like you said, you have that outlet to find a happiness, to work off some steam. And so like how has it been? And I know too you have a daughter who is she 3? Is she 4?
Yeah. She's 3.
And so, like, watching her watch you. So, like, how has that been just that dynamic and shifting there?
It's been fun. It's hard to make friends in your 30s. Like you have
Yeah.
your core friends like
Yeah.
from school or people that you know from work, but it's hard to make new friends. And it's been really easy to make new friends in cycling community. And because you have this shared interest. And so that's been great, like new friendships and new people to hang out with and talk with. And then, yeah, my daughter is totally into it. During our team meetings, whenever I'd have to get on, it was usually like right around or right after her bedtime, and
Okay.
so I do a couple of bedtime stories and then come get on my computer for a team meeting. And she would be like, "Dad, are you gonna go meet with your bike friends?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, I gotta go talk to my bike friends." And she'd usually come sit on my lap and wave for a minute before she went to bed. But yeah, it's just been great, great community. Like the adventuring aspect is really fun, but really being in community with people has been the best part.
Can you tell me why?
Yeah, I like writing, and I think that doing hard things with other people is more fun than doing hard things by yourself. You have this bond because you've done something difficult together. And I think that's something that you don't really get through a lot of avenues with friends.
Hmm.
And that's something that we get in a cycling community of where we're all here and we're all going to support each other and we're all going to hug each other at the finish line. And that's just something that you don't see like out in the adult world very often. And
Yeah.
yeah, and everybody's like rooting for each other. And that's really cool.
It's really difficult to foster that in a natural way, but having something to
Hmm.
anchor into, it makes it possible.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. I feel like I skipped over possibly like the most important piece of this, which is the actual Mid South. So
Oh yeah.
the event of it, we know that from the bird's eye view of it is that of course there wound up being fires along the route the night before that canceled the race itself. So taking that out of it, what was it like
Mhm.
to like arrive at Mid South, meet your teammates in person? I don't think you had met in person before. Like
Mm-mm.
start to like really, I don't know, let's just kind of start there. It's like, so you met your teammates and you're there and is kind of like the culmination of all of this hard work.
Yeah. So we got into town Thursday afternoon, right before the salsa cycles and Ripton denim ride. And so like last minute, like right before it was about to start. And so I'm like, didn't have time to like really get ready. I just threw on my cutoff jorts and my denim vest and got my bike off the rack and rolled over there and started recognizing people from the team. And it was immediately like hugs and, "Oh my gosh, you're here. I'm so glad to meet you in person." And then we all rode together for the shakeout ride, and especially for the first part, and then it split up as the ride went on. And then we went to Stone Cloud Brewing after that and all met for the first time for real and got our sponsor packets and our team goodies. And it was it was neat, like seeing all these people that we had all been working towards this goal of doing this race separately and like doing our own training, but like we were all focused on the same goal. And like to actually come together and, okay, we're here and we're going to do this together, was very encouraging. And it was great to see all those people in person for the first time.
Yeah, you mentioned that when you first heard about Mid South, you like pointed to it and said like that's my people. That's what I want
Yeah.
in my life, that
Hmm.
community. So how did it measure up to your expectations?
Yeah, it did. Obviously, we didn't get to do the race part, but I do feel like the that community aspect and everybody supporting each other and leaning on each other and encouraging each other was there and very present. And that, like, I feel like I got the Mid South experience
Yeah.
even without the race. Like, we had the weekend and it was great.
Mhm. A group of you went out. Ultimately, you went out on Saturday. So the
Hmm.
race was canceled, but you still rode.
Friday night, when the race was officially canceled, people started messaging in the group chat like, we should go ride anyways. They're supposed to be clear, let's go ride. But there was nothing official planned. And then the next day, Mid South posted some routes that were east of town, and all the fires had been west of town. And a group went out and did a 50-mile route. And then me and Sebastian, we went out and did like a 24-mile route. One of the guys in District Bicycles, he's like, "How many miles do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know, 20, 25." And he's like, "About 10 miles out, there's this little town, and they have a real Old West saloon where there have been like shootouts and cowboys and outlaws, and you should go there. That's a good ride. Go there and come back. That's a good like 20-ish mile ride." So that's what we did.
Such a good shout. That's exciting.
Yeah. And yeah, it was great. It was awesome being on the roads. And I think that's really where the, like, another example of the community aspect and like getting that Mid South experience, because there were so many people on the roads riding, like age group people, all bodies on bikes team people, and then like even pros were out riding. Everybody was just like out having a good time, friendly, and like, "Hey, you guys doing okay? Isn't it great we're out riding anyways?" And it was really fun. And like to be out there with everyone and was awesome just to have that experience and see so many people out on the road riding despite there not being an official ride.
Mhm. It sounds like it kind of became the great equalizer and took the pressure off to where it is now just truly like we're gonna enjoy our time on a bike. We're all
Yeah.
here, we all enjoy this. We are all part of this particular experience.
Yes, very much so. It might be cliche, but very much the spirit of gravel. Gravel racing should be fun and adventurous and a community building thing and not like a cutthroat race. And definitely like Saturday, everybody riding together. It was very much that, like, very DIY punk rock. We're just gonna go do it. We're gonna do our own
Right.
thing.
So I think that is actually one of the reasons that All Bodies chose to start going to Mid South is because it's built in the spirit of they have the DFL party, which is the dead fucking last party. Whoever comes across
Mhm.
last is celebrated, like champagne popping, neon lights and glow sticks, and like it looked amazing in the photos.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. It's every rider is celebrated as you come across the finish line. Does that resonate with you as far as a good ride for your first experience versus another race or gravel ride or any ride that might not have had that same energy?
Yeah, that is exactly like what drew me to cycling and the Mid South. Like when I first decided I wanted to get a bike was that exact thing of the DFL party and the pros and the amateurs and everybody starts together. And which was not that way, or which was not going to be that way this year, but that's okay. Like I understand that's a
It got
normal
big.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got much bigger. But yeah, like everybody is equal regardless of what place you finish or what kind of bike you're on or what your past experiences are with cycling. Like you don't have to be a a lifetime gravel rider to come and be celebrated here.
You
Yeah.
were really eager to share your story when I like chucked this out to the group. You were like, "Yes, it's me." What are the things that you would want someone to know about your experience? Or do you just like to yap your mouth? It could be either.
No, no, it's not that one. Just that I think that all bodies on bikes and in general, and then especially with Mid South, created a place where like everyone is celebrated. All bodies on bikes, I guess, is the mission statement of all bodies are good bodies, all bikes are good bikes, and all rides should be celebrated. Like this is the perfect example of that. And I think that this organization has really helped me find a really good place to put energy into, a really good place to build community and make friends and explore the world. And I think that it's great, and I would highly recommend it to anybody. And I think that's why I wanted to share. It was just like this is a great program, and I would definitely recommend if someone's interested, apply to get into this program. And even if you don't get into this program, like get involved with your local chapters, and because All Bodies on Bikes is doing things in this space that not a lot of other people are doing, and making a way for people that other organizations aren't.
Would you have gotten on a bike in the same way or at all without All Bodies on Bikes?
I don't think so. I like looking around at bikes, like I was definitely interested, but like I said, I got discouraged and was like, I feel insecure about like how big I am and how difficult it is to talk to people and find out some answers or like how to do this. And I think if I hadn't run into Marley and heard about All Bodies on Bikes, that my story would look a lot different, or I would definitely not be doing it at the same level that I am today.